Okay, there's been a lot of talk about Hillary's concussion back in 2012 and how it was doubtful as to whether she had recovered from said concussion as late as April of 2015 when she announced her candidacy for president. And if you are a fan of WikiLeaks, you've probably seen this email from Huma Abedin where she says that Hillary is going to stick to notes a little closer this AM, still not perfect in her brain, in her head. I'm sorry, in her brain, in her head. Um, I personally think that she's referring to the fact that the speech is not perfect in her head, or she was going to attend let me show you. She was going to attend a forum, and a round table talk, that's what it was. And she was going to stick to her notes. She's going to stick to her notes a little closer this AM, still not perfect in her head. I think that what Huma meant was that the things that she wanted to say were not perfect in her head. I don't know how Huma talks, but to me that sounds like she's saying she doesn't have it down pat in her head what she's going to say, and so she's going to stick to her notes. Regardless, the more interesting part of this email chain is what occurred before Huma got involved and what they were talking about to cause her to send this email. Okay? You always got to go back to the bottom of the thing, back to the base, back to where it all started. It all started with Kenneth Thomas from the Associated Press sending them a question. Let us know if you have any thoughts on this arrangement Jeb is setting up. Would be interested in your take. Now this email link, this link right here doesn't work. It has expired, so I wasn't able to see what he was talking about, but I found it on the internet, and it was referring to how Jeb Bush would, how his super PAC would spend $103 million. And it's talking about, going through the article in Time magazine, you can look it up. I can probably post the link in the description if I remember to do that. But basically it's talking about how close to the line of the law Jeb Bush and his super PAC are skirting in their communications with each other. That, they're really skirting close to breaking the law, is what it was basically talking about. And so the Associated Press wanted the Clinton campaign's take on that. So he sent this to Jennifer Palmieri, and she spread it to the group. She says, so this is a thing. What do people think about Jeb using the super PAC for broader things? So then she gets an answer back from none other than Robby Mook. I'm starting to love Robby Mook because he doesn't put his foot in his mouth. He just puts a couple of toes in his mouth. And it's priceless because he never knew these emails would become public. But they are now. And so there it is. And this is the first time that this information was forwarded to Huma Abedin, by the way. So he says, Robby Mook, I would be reluctant to be vocal on this one way or another, since we don't know what will happen on our side. I would rather have other people push that he's being bought and paid for. Okay, let's look at that. What could Robby Mook possibly mean when he says, we don't know what will happen on our side? Could he possibly mean, Robby Mook, that he knows the corruption that exists between the DNC, the Clinton campaign, and the super PACs that are supporting her? He knows that there's corruption there, and if we become vocal on this one way or another, we don't know on which side the hammer's going to fall. Maybe. If you've been keeping up with the Project Veritas, then you know that this whole thing is corrupt. And if you haven't, I suggest highly that you go and watch the Project Veritas action videos. Jim Margolis. He agrees with Robby Mook. Do the hit, but don't go deep into it. Do the hit, but don't go deep into it. Yeah. Okay. Then we got Jennifer Palmieri comes back and says, yes, if she feels the need to address the Jeb question directly, I would suggest the pivot of, I will leave commentating on campaign tactics to others, but I am very concerned about the dark money in politics and have to get rid of it once and for all. Okay, so this is Jennifer Palmieri's idea of what Hillary could say. If she's going to say anything, she should say this. That way, she's not really addressing the Jeb question, but she's all about getting rid of dark money in politics. Now, you notice that Huma Abedin has been added to the list of people who are reading this email chain, but Hillary Clinton has not. Just as an aside for now. Okay. Then Joel Bennison said something, and it's not really important because he just tweaked what Jennifer Palmieri said. And then that's when Huma Abedin comes back and says she's going to stick to notes a little closer this AM, still not perfect in her head. So, what do we really have here? What is really going on? This is a group of people who have surrounded themselves around a meat sack, a walking meat sack named Hillary Clinton, who does not formulate any of the speeches or talks or meetings that she has. She simply reads off her notes, repeats what she's been told, and carries on. They're carrying the party. These people, that Robby Mook, Jennifer Palmieri, Huma Abedin, Brian Fallon, Joel Bennison, Dan Swerwick, Jake Sullivan, they're John Podesta. They're carrying this stuff. They're supporting her, carrying her on, helping her for the win. Hillary for the win. This is a cabal. It is corrupt from the bottom up. And people need to start paying attention. People really need to start paying attention. You guys have a good day. Look this up if you want to. The title, the subject heading for this email chain is Forward Jeb, and it was posted on April 21st of 2015 in the Podesta files. This is in the Podesta files, not the Hillary Clinton files. All right. Talk to you later. More to come.